Super Mario Galaxy is one of the most critically acclaimed and highest rated video games of all time. Some people, however, think that it's one of the worst games ever created. So let's dive into the hilariously bad negative user reviews on Metacritic to find out some of the ridiculous reasons why some people don't like this game. Our first review comes from Metacritic 2011. Why everybody loves this stupid game. I consider Super Mario Galaxy as the worst Mario game, and one of the worst games I've ever played. Galaxy has the dumbest Mario, his plot is horrible, has an awful soundtrack, and his controls are... I don't recommend this game. This game is too boring. Rosalina is too annoying, and this game has a bad mouth flavour. This game is Shigeru Miyamoto's biggest error, and I do not recommend it. That's why I prefer Super Mario 64, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Super Mario 3D Land and 3D World, and Super Mario Odyssey. Worst Wii game, worst Mario game, and worst game ever made. 1 out of 10. Wow, this person really does not like this game. Although it's interesting that they still like Galaxy 2 despite not liking the first game. That feels a bit weird. Cryptum is up next with their 0 out of 10 review. Played this and don't see why it gets so much praise. I was bored to tears in 25 minutes. It seems like people just brought the game as a replacement for Mario 64. This doesn't impress. Moving on to Grassy's review, here is what they said. I got it. I hate this stupid game. The second player only gets to collect star, which is stupid. That is why I hate this stupid game. If I made a bottom 10 Mario games, it will be number 1. 0 out of 10. To be honest, criticizing Galaxy's co-op mode is valid, as it's not the greatest and it would have been nicer to have proper co-op in the game, but that doesn't mean this is the worst Mario game in the series. That's a little overdramatic. Famicom9X has written a review for Super Mario Galaxy. This game have a playstyle that make you moving around a comet, which is make me dizzy when playing this game. My nephew see it too. The problem is this game very boring from the beginning to the time I quit playing. They used the same characters, stories, gameplay all over again, especially story. It's very tedious gameplay, very poor. Never saw any good Nintendo games. One of the worst game I've ever played. 0 out of 10. McKey Art and Toys also gave Galaxy a 0 out of 10 score. I don't get what you are all seeing. I mean, my kid loved it, but I thought it was terrible. Rather play the older games or Super Mario World. Well, at least your kid liked the game. That's a positive. Belly thinks it's the worst Mario game they have ever played. Let's find out why. Worst Mario game I've played. Along with the second Galaxy, I didn't like the setting in space, the lack of open world environments. Mario is the one game where the concept can't change too much. We need the castle, the green grass, the classic water levels, etc. This felt much more sterile. The motion controls wasn't fitting in this game, it felt very gimmicky. The spin move would have felt more natural to do with a button, which would have made it more precise. Mario 64 remains unbeaten. 3 out of 10. I feel like if every Mario game stuck with the green grass and castle themes, then the Mario games would get pretty boring quite quickly. The space theming is what makes Galaxy one of the best games in the series, as it stands out with its completely unique setting compared to the other games. Also, I know that motion controls aren't for everyone, but I think they are implemented really well into the Galaxy games. Batty99 has some thoughts on Super Mario Galaxy. It was fun as a kid, but we aren't 10 years old now. We should move on mediocrity and have our own critical look at the games. And this is one of the most mind-numbingly boring game Nintendo have ever developed. None of the ideas are actually fun to experience, and nothing about the level designs is engaging. 4 out of 10. This is a horrendously bad take. I actually find the game more fun to play now as an adult compared to when I was a kid. Although I was a really stupid child and would often get stuck at certain parts of the game and just give up. Dig Thingy thinks that Mario Galaxy is deserving of a 1 out of 10 score. I've tried playing this game twice, but brought it back in the next few days. The first time was because you couldn't save in between. The second time was because once I'd finished the second level, it wouldn't let me do anything. It probably would've, but I didn't know how to do it. The game looks great, but far too hard. I think someone needs to help this person out. Last Dover has thought on Super Mario Galaxy. It's a very bad game. Like the rims in Cressida 1980 or the gearbox of Superban. 0 out of 10. Okay, we are now going to take a look at Rock Odiador's review for Super Mario Galaxy. Strap in, as this is a long one. It feels like Nintendo's desperate attempt at reinvention, and it completely flopped. Oh, but the gravity is revolutionary. Revolutionary my foot. It's just an excuse to make you spin around on tiny little planets that look like they came from a beginner's 3D design class. You jump, spin, and boom, you land on another insignificant, weightless, soulless planet. It's not epic, it's claustrophobic. And let's talk about the levels. They're linear, cramped, and completely lacking in creativity. Where's the real exploration? Where's the sense of freedom fans loved in Mario 64? Here, you're led around like a child, collecting stars that don't even matter because everything boils down to following the obvious path and pressing the same buttons. It feels like a glorified kiddie park. The controls, a total mess. Using the Wii Remote to point and collect star bits is the most boring, forced gimmick ever slapped onto a game. It's a pointless distraction that only reminds you how little the game offers in terms of challenge or depth. And the bosses, big, flashy, but so easy you almost feel sorry for. The story? Oh yes. Rosalina and her space observatory, a forced melodrama, trying to interject depth into a game that has absolutely none. Who cares about a story like that when the gameplay is this shallow? Mario Galaxy is proof that flashy graphics and a orchestra soundtrack can't save an empty game. It's a hollow shell, shiny on the outside, but dead inside. It's one of the most overrated games in the history of gaming. 0 out of 10. Well, that was a pretty long review to take in, and a lot of it was complete rubbish. Please don't take that review seriously. Let's end off with Mitty01 review, who says, most boring game of all time. This is the worst Mario game. 0 out of 10. Well, there you go. That was 11 hilariously bad reviews for Super Mario Galaxy. If you enjoyed this video, then why not check out another video in this bad review series, like this one for the absolute classic Super Mario 64.